Okay, moving right along. Good evening.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Undersheriff.
Good evening.
Sorry. We're not having a meeting.
I'd like to open the meeting for the Protective Services Committee meeting for today, July 23rd. We should have a revised agenda in front of us indicating that the original date of the 17th was postponed due to the weather. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislature, can you read this, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Legislator Agnizio.
Present.
Legislator Sage.
Present.
Chairwoman Nassarino.
Present. Moving on to agenda item number 3 is approval budgetary amendment 24A051, Department of Social Services request to reclassify revenue and expenses related to the domestic terrorism prevention grant. This is merely a, do you want to come forward, Undersheriff?
If you have a question, sure. If not, no.
It is my understanding that this is merely a housekeeping detail to just move the $50,000 into the appropriate line.
Correct.
Okay?
That's it.
Okay. Any questions?
Sorry, I sent a memo on this. I just wanted to see back up. This is for July, right?
Correct.
And that was because we didn't follow the procurement. We got it at a competitive rate, but it was because the state shot it back because we didn't follow the procurement policy.
No, we didn't budget it in the proper budget line.
Okay.
It wasn't in the correct line for where we could draw off of.
So that's why
we
the
moved it
state-
around.
Okay.
It's just a housekeeping detail to move to the appropriate line, and this is used to support the county's capability to prevent targeted violence and domestic terrorism throughout the utilization of the threat assessment and management team, TAM team.
And I just have one more question. I'm sorry, and that'll be my last one.
Okay.
Each year, there's plans that go with this, right? So each year we'll have to pay into it, and they range from $5,000 to $12,000 to $29,000.
I'm not sure the yearly cost with this, but from what I understand, I'm not sure exactly how much it will cost to continue with it. Exact dollar amount. I know there's a fee every year for a couple of years. The exact amount, I'm not sure.
Can you just get that back to me? And
Sure.
no big deal. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, we could get that answer, but we're just considering the housekeeping, moving it from one budget line to another. So any other questions? Okay. There being none, I'd like to make a motion to move this to audit. Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Agenda item number 4 is approval budgetary amendment 24A066, donation for green chimneys to the Sheriff's Department to be used for the K-9 program. This is in the amount of $200 incoming funds.
Dog fest.
Excuse me?
It's for, we're going to spend it for K-9 back.
K-9.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
This is for the K-9 program. Any questions or comments? There being none, I'd like to make a motion to move this forward to the Audit Administration Committee. Do you have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 5 is approval budgetary amendment 24A067, reimbursement of April 14, 2024 overtime from the New York State Stop-CWI Foundation for drug recognition call-outs. This is in the amount of $282.11. And this is going to move it to the revenue line 1431-11,000.443890, which is the appropriate line. Any questions or comments? There being none, I'd like to make a motion to move this to the audit meeting. Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 6 is approval budgetary amendment 24A071, funds from New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services Law Enforcement Technology Program. This is incoming money, amount of $119,411.51. The would you like to embellish upon this? If you turn the page in your backup, you can see how this money is going to be appropriated.
One would be the purchase of a tethered drone for $67,855. The second purchase would be for one 2-lane fixed LPR system. And the third item would be replacing the MDTs in the car computers. I believe it was 13 we came up with.
And that is in the amount of $37,756.51.
Yes.
So that's how the breakdown is. Are there any questions or comments about this?
I have a question.
Yes, Shade Montgomery.
It says LPR will be installed in a high-crime area of community concern. Do you have a location determined?
We have actually 4 locations, and we haven't really picked which one yet. It depends on when it comes in. So right now, we're waiting on one. So when that one comes in, we'll figure out where that one's gonna go. But there's 4 high spots that we wanna put them in.
And do you have a need for 3 others then? Will you have a need to purchase three others after
Yes.
this one?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll come to us for that, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. I'd like to move this grant award forward to the Audit Administration Committee meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 7 is approval authorization for an intermunicipal agreement with Westchester County to effectuate the installation of mobile radios for the police department participating in mutual aid and rapid response plan. So this is an agreement, as it is stated, pretty straightforward. Any questions or comments about this? Okay.
Question.
Yes, let's put them up.
This has nothing to do with the radio project?
No,
No, this is the mutual aid and rapid response plan.
We're buying radios for this mutual aid rapid response
The
plan.
County of Westchester wishes to furnish mobile radios to the County of Putnam for installation in its municipal police vehicles. To provide mobile radios to the County of Putnam as well as the initial radio program services at no charge to the County of Putnam.
Will they be able to communicate with the radios involved in the radio project?
no, those are for within the county. This is for us to ground talk to Westchester.
Westchester.
Additional radio.
Additional channel.
And this is a 5-year, agreement commencing January 2024 and continuing through January 2029. Any other questions or comments? No. Legislative, right?
When the Phase 2 trunk system is finally fully capable, will they still be applicable? Because they'll be able to talk to Westchester through them anyway, correct? At that point?
For ground operations, I don't believe so.
No?
Not for ground operations. That's car to base and base to car. Ground operations would be this.
So they'll have to carry around 2 radios for...
Not carry, no. It would be in the
So
car.
2 set, okay. So I was under the impression that they could go all the way to Albany and with the Phase 2 trunk systems without the antennas being interoperable. In speaking to other
They
counties.
could, speaking to other counties, as long as we're programmed in,
Right, with the
Yes.
channels, right?
but we're only allowed an X amount of space within those radios. So we're only getting so many channels and then that's it. We're used up.
There's no way to purchase extra channels.
There is a way to purchase extra channels, but from what I understand, there's none left to purchase.
Interesting. Okay.
Somebody, a lot of the police departments in the bigger places are going in and buying up all the channels, all that block.
Okay.
If I may, through the chair,
Legislator Montgomery? Yes.
I'd like, at some point, if the committee could make arrangements for the radio committee and the radio committee chair to come in and
Absolutely.
see how all of this is working together. I mean, we are spending over $10 million on a radio project, and I get it, these are being given to us by Westchester, it's great, but I'd like to see if and how maybe all of these systems can work together. If they're for ground operation and we're not all talking to each other, or we have to have two radios, I would just like to know from the committee and the people that have been working on the radio project, maybe how this could work with them, because I'm hoping that it can all work together.
I agree.
Thanks.
We'll have Commissioner Lupton come to our next meeting to give us a radio project update. But tonight we're considering this intermunicipal agreement and provided by the County of Westchester for law enforcement, fire, EMS, and other first responders for the purpose of carrying out the plan. So we're very fortunate to have this opportunity. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 8 is approval appointments of the Putnam County Emergency Services Safety Advisory Board. We have 2 candidates tonight who their resumes are attached. They have a wealth of experience. I'd like to move to approve Michael McCluskey and Catherine Lewis. Any questions or comments? No? There being none, I'd like to make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve, no, we have to, no, we have the coroner's report, which is an FYI. And I would like to now make a motion to approve the additional 10A.
Other business.
Excuse me?
Other business.
I mean, other business. Other business, yeah, what? This was at the request of Legislature Pullman about the proposed resolution related to changes made by OSHA that will have a substantial impact on our local volunteer fire departments, and actually an adverse impact.
Thank you, Chairwoman, for...
Second, Amy.
Okay. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Chairwoman, for bringing this resolution up. First of all, I'd like to say that OSHA is a great organization, and I'm glad that they're trying to improve the safety of fire service in New York and throughout the United States. But this resolution is asking them to extend the deadline. This was going to be done last week, and the deadline actually is July 22nd, which was yesterday. But all the fire departments in Putnam County, New York State, and throughout the United States can't do what they're asking them to do at the moment. What they're asking right now is that volunteers commit an extraordinary amount of time where most individuals do not have that time. Even now, volunteers come through the doors throughout Putnam County and want to volunteer, but their time restraints are limited, so they can't fulfill their requirements. We also need new members and the current members that the departments have. Currently, many of the departments, Putnam Valley included, will have to lose most of the members that they have in the fire service, and that's not a really good thing. If they lose the members of the service, what will happen? There'll be no volunteer service anymore. No volunteer service means
each town throughout the country and throughout Putnam Valley will have to figure out what are they going to do. A paid fire department. Paid fire department. 3 shifts, 7 days a week. Salaries, benefits, uniforms, vacations, time off. No town has that kind of money to spend at the moment. The worst case scenario would be is someone calls 911 and no one shows up. So the towns will have to do something in order to correct this problem. Also, Putnam Valley, for instance, we have a truck that's 20 years old with 8,000 miles on it. Perfectly good truck, fire truck. The new OSHA laws say that that truck's no good. They have to get another, apparatus to correct that problem. Where's the money gonna come from for that? What this resolution is asking is for OSHA to relax a little bit. Let each agency, each county, each town figure out how they're going to deal with this before this actually goes into effect. So it actually went into effect yesterday. That's what this resolution is.
Yeah, I just want to second what Bill is saying. The one-size-fits-all model is not appropriate for us. It could raise property taxes up to 50%, and it's just, it's not something that we can withstand, and it's ridiculous. And these unfunded mandates coming from the government don't realize how they affect the taxpayers.
Cities like New York City, Yonkers, Mount Vernon, White Plains can afford to have a paid fire department. Putnam Valley,
Right.
Phillipstown,
Patterson,
Southeast,
all of us.
Patterson, Kent,
All of us.
Carmel,
All of us.
can't afford that. If they did that, all of our taxes are gonna go up 30, 40,
Well, we
50%.
can't afford the financial burden of the unfunded mandates, and we can't afford to lose, we speak over and over again about the lack of volunteerism and the retention of our volunteers, and if we lose the volunteers that we have, that would also have such a devastating effect on our county and our safety and everything else across the board throughout Putnam County. So I'm certainly in favor of moving this forward. If anybody else has any other comments or questions, Legislator Elmer?
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with this. Also, the question, these are OSHA rules, correct? They've not been voted into law by Congress. There just was a Supreme Court decision where there's been overreach by the government. A lot of that had to do with the, Rob, please help me, the Department of Firearms.
ATF?
Yeah, a lot of it had to do with the ATF. So I'm just wondering if that's some additional ammunition for us to have them relax some of these rules.
So the comments just closed yesterday.
Through the chair.
Oh, sorry, Ginny. Legislator Mastriano. Through the chair. The comments just closed. They had extended the comment
Not a
session.
comment, this is a Supreme
I'm
Court
talking about
decision.
for OSHA. OSHA had, on this particular resolution that we're talking about, had the comment, they had extended the comment time for fire departments to come and comment and give and lobby for more things. So they were asking for more time and to either figure out a different methodology of how to do this.
Right, that's a separate versus federal government
Right.
overreach with the Supreme Court has just started to say, sorry guys, you can't do that.
Right. Okay. Legislator Montgomery?
I would think this is new to me, I'm just seeing it for the first time now, so it doesn't give specifics as to what the changes are. And we're talking about changes as if, it's something that's too cumbersome for fire departments, and I'm sure many have commented on that they are, but, hopefully we all do recognize that OSHA is in place to keep our firemen and our residents safe. A lot of times these laws have to change because of incidents, horrific incidents that have occurred, and so I would like to do our due diligence and find out what the specifics, or maybe what the specifics of the changes are right now. It sounds like equipment.
One of them is equipment.
Training.
Putnam Valley would have to replace one of their apparatuses, and I'm sure some of the other towns in Putnam County would have to do the same thing. And the training.
The training is
75% of the fire department, the volunteers in the fire department in Putnam Valley will not be able to do their job as volunteers. And that would be a similar situation with every other town. You call 911, no one shows up, what is the town gonna have to do? They're gonna have to quickly get a paid fire department, which no one can afford that at the moment. Just give us some time, give the county, give the towns, give the fire departments throughout the country time to figure out how they're going to, do this. It's great to improve the fire service for the safety of the residents and the firemen and women, but let's take some time to get this thing done.
I believe it's not only the training, but the retraining that would be very often, and that would subject some of the firefighters who would then put them in non-compliance,
A lot of them would be in.
which would have a domino effect and an impact on retention, and we know we have a problem with getting volunteers. So all we're asking for tonight is to move this forward, to give it more consideration before it's adopted, correct?
Just give us some time.
Okay.
Do we know when this is to be adopted? Is there any indication as to when?
As we speak,
Yes,
it's
yes.
happening.
I'm sorry, Susan.
As we speak, it's going on.
So it's happening now?
Well, we're a week late in our meeting, so
Yeah.
we were supposed to consider this last week,
But
but
I do appreciate the phased-in over time to allow fire departments to come into compliance. I mean, OSHA is to protect the workers and the people working there, but if they give us time to phase in some of these things, we'd still allow them to.
Absolutely. This resolution,
time.
and I'm not saying, OSHA, leave us alone, don't do this. Saying is, wait, take steps and do this thing.
Yeah.
Please with the 900-page document from OSHA, and you gotta read it, you gotta figure out what it all says.
Yeah, that's tough for a small fire department, volunteer fire department, who doesn't have a full-time person or a lawyer to read 900 pages of regulation.
I do have to comment, if I may, and I think
Sure.
to Legislator Sage's point, I think that is something that the Bureau of Emergency Services could do more to support our local departments. The only level of training, that's what the Bureau is for right now, basically, for our fire departments, is training. The only level of training I think we provide is firefighter 1, and a lot of these agencies are seeking elsewhere to get training. So I think it just opens the conversation for we could do a lot to bolster what we offer our fire departments through our bureau, and I think it's important to support that.
and that's why we want the fire training center, so we could
I
have
hope
more
so.
training in Putnam County for our volunteers. I would like to, if there being any other comments, no more comments or questions, I would like to make a motion to move this forward. And this, what, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Copies of this will go to
Before,
OSHA, United States
Oh.
Senators Chuck Schumer, Kristen Gillibrand, United States Representative Michael Lawless, Governor Kathy Hochul, Senator Peter Harper, and Assembly members Matt Slater and Dana Levenberg. Okay. There being no other business, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's long.